Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to CW Live. My name is Chris Webb, Head of Communications at the CW. Delighted to be joined today. I'll go around the screen as I see it by our President, Karen.
Afternoon, Chris.
We've got Andy Kerr, our Deputy General Secretary for Telecoms and Financial Services. Afternoon, Andy.
Afternoon, Chris.
And we've got Dave Ward, our General Secretary. Afternoon, Dave.
Afternoon, everybody.
So big moments. Obviously, we've been communicating with you regularly since the 2 days industrial action that took place across BT Group and Openreach. So fantastically well supported by you. You've had updates. You've all been sending off your emails to your local MPs. So thank you for that. That's been fantastic. But we're at another crunch point. Obviously, you've been asking us for updates. So we want to come out and we want to be as open and transparent as we possibly can with all of you. So that's what we're going to do today. Karen's got something to announce to you all shortly. But just before she does that, and we get commentary from Dave and from Andy, I'm just going to ask you all to let us know where you're watching from, let us know how long you've been a union member, and to help us spread the session by tagging your colleagues in the comments and sharing the link so we get as many people online as we possibly can. Whilst you do that, I'm going to hand over to Karen to open the session.
Thank you, Chris. And good afternoon, everybody. So first of all, I want to start off by saying a brilliant well done to everybody who took part in the strike action 2 weeks ago. There is absolutely no doubt that it had a massive impact on the company, and there is no doubt of the pressure that is putting them under. But the problem that we've got is that we need to keep that pressure up now, and therefore we are in a position where we need to announce further strike action. And so today we are serving notice on the company to say that we will be taking strike action for a 48-hour period from midnight on Tuesday, the 30th of August, until 23:59 on Wednesday, the 31st of August. We hope that you'll all start to prepare for that now. We really need that solidarity, the same solidarity that we saw 2 weeks ago, to take part in that action, and we need to keep the pressure up. So let's do this.
Thank you, Karen. Another big moment, obviously, just to reiterate there, Karen, and it's on the screen for you all to see. On the 30th and 31st of August, we'll have 2 days further strike action across BT Group and Openreach. First to comment, General Secretary Dave Ward.
Yeah, like Karen, I want to thank all our members. You delivered fantastic support for the first 2 days of the strike action. It was great to get out to picket lines, to see the spirit amongst our members, and to really start to understand how deeply they feel about the actions of BT and how unfair the company have been on our members. As Karen said, and no doubt Andy will say in a minute, when you're in a dispute like this, you've got to keep the pressure on. So the announcement for the next 2 strikes is important. And we know that the last strikes and this announcement today has rocked the company. We know that from a number of ways. One, in the fact that they didn't expect the level of support that you delivered in those 2 strikes. When I was on the picket lines and talking to people, there were plenty of managers around who we spoke to. And it became evident from some of those managers that they were really, really taken aback by the level of support. We also know that a lot of those managers are passing messages back to the company. And I think that the management, most of the managers in the company are fed up with the actions of the CEO and the board. And that was also clear in some of the dialogue that took place. But we were also able to focus very much on the CEO and the board, on how wrong they've been in the choices that they've made thus far. And also that it was absolutely possible for them to deliver a better pay rise. It is an affordable pay rise. And nothing demonstrated that more than on the eve of those 2 strikes, the first quarter profits were announced at 422 million. So we all know that they can afford to give you a higher pay rise. So we're going to keep that pressure on. We're not just looking at strike action, we're also looking to keep the pressure up politically, and we're going to be organising that shareholders meeting, and we'll come out and talk to you fairly soon about that as well. So we're going to use every possible way to leverage this. And I do want to say this to you, their position of not negotiating is not sustainable. We already know from back channels, and you'll probably hear more about that next week at some point, that the company understand now that they can't just keep facing away from the reality of this dispute. They can't keep alienating their workers. And as long as we keep the pressure on, and that's what today's announcement is about, we're open to negotiations. We're open to exploring all ways of getting you the deal you deserve. But we've got to keep that pressure on. As long as we do that and we stay solid, we're going to win this dispute. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dave. That's brilliant. Over to our Deputy General Secretary, Telecoms and Financial Services, Andy Kerr. Over to you, mate.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And just to follow on from both Karen and from Dave, and when this is another historic time, another 2 days of industrial action, and we don't do it. We understand the pressure this puts in our members under, but we need to keep that pressure on, as Dave has just said, onto the company. It was a fantastic support we got over those couple of days that we had a couple of weeks back. It really was good. Surpassed all my expectations in the length and breadth of this country, and a real heartfelt thanks to you all for taking part in it. But let's do it again. Let's get build back up, and let's do it all again on the 30th and 31st of August. It's really important we keep this pressure on the company, as Dave has just said there. We need to keep it up. And we will get them back to the table, and we will have talks, hopefully, in the next period. Now, as David just said also, that we are willing to negotiate at any time with the company, and we will. And that's an absolute commitment from the CWU. Because if we kind of avert this strike, we'll do it. If we can get a deal, we'll stop this strike. But at the moment, that's not the position. The company will have to come back to the table, and we have to progress some talks. So those days of action, 30 and 31st of August, are really important to us. So please encourage all your work colleagues. Those of you on the picket lines the last time, great. Get back on the picket lines in the 30 and 31st of August. Encourage your friends to come along to that. Let's get the non-members, that anybody you know is a non-member, get them to join the CWU, get them to join our campaign and our fight with BT. Because if we stick together, we absolutely stick together and be as solid as we were in the last 2 days, we will get the company to change its view, and we will get them back around the table, and we will potentially get a deal from the company that is, and I'll give this absolute commitment that we gave before. The real crucial point is, even if we get to a deal, it will be put to you, our members, for your decision whether it's good or not, whether it's acceptable or not to you. And that's an absolute crucial point for us. It's not just about the level of pay that we're looking for. It's also about this imposition and the fact that your democratic rights have been thrown out the window by the company. That has to be put back into place. So thanks very much for your support so far. Let's keep it all together for the next few weeks. We will keep you updated, as Chris is going to no doubt say in a minute or two. We will definitely keep you updated in anything that happens over the next week or so. So thanks again.
Thank you, Andy. That's fantastic. So firstly, to say thank you to all three of you. Karen, Dave and Andy done a great job. Obviously, the members now, when the strike dates are. They've been on the bottom of the screen, the 30th and the 31st of August. Our job now collectively is to get out and to put as much pressure as we possibly can on the company in the next 2.5 weeks to make sure that those picket lines are just as big, just as vibrant and just as strong, if not more so, than they were last time. So as Andy said there, we're going to have loads and loads of comms coming at you in the next 2 and a bit weeks. Your job is to back your union and to get on strike on those 2 days. Catch you later, everybody.